as a small business owner, you have to pitch your business, and creating a story pitch for your business is so helpful because it gives you a concise storyline that engages potential customers by first empathizing with them and your audience. And we learned how empathizing is really important when you're wanting to become the guide. Second, giving them a plan of action. And third, showing them what success can look like.
Hey there, you're listening to the Priority Pursuit Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping small business owners define, maintain, and pursue both their personal and business priorities so they can build lives and businesses they love.
We're your hosts, Kelly Rice and Victoria Rayburn, and today we are excited for part 5 of the Marketing Guiding Statement series. And in this episode, we are breaking down the story pitch.
So over the last several episodes, just as a quick recap, we have been talking about the importance of developing your marketing guiding statements, aka your messaging, before you develop or implement your marketing strategy. This is because without clear messaging, you will not be able to connect with your ideal customers, hold their attention, or get them to do business with you.
So when you jump in doing all of the marketing things like social media and developing a website and creating reels and all of these other types of things, before you create your marketing guiding statements, you actually end up wasting a lot of time and money on things that actually, they just don't work. This is why today we're covering the 5th area you need in your marketing guiding statements, and it's called the story pitch.
So in the publishing world, before a book is written in full, the author goes to a publisher to present their story pitch, which is just a concise description of what a story is about, who the story is for, and why it will sell. This is also what a story pitch though can do for your small business. Well, we know initially this definition comes from the publishing world, but again, so many aspects of story, really so many aspects of the industry can be applied to your marketing to clarify your messaging. So today, Kelly is going to walk us through the strategy of developing your story pitch. Okay, so Kelly, in the marketing world, what is a story pitch? Why does it matter? And how do you use it?
So just like the one-liner that we talked about last episode, most of us are really bad at explaining what we do, why we do it, and why it matters. And most of the time when somebody asks us about our business, we start rattling off services, or if you're like me, sometimes I used to just get this blank stare and we do these types of things instead of telling people how we can solve their problems. So again, we don't want to bore people with information, and we want to captivate them, especially in your marketing materials and on your website. And this is where your story pitch comes in. So the story pitch goes beyond the one-liner to create a full storyline that will engage your audience and show them why they should work with you. So while your story pitch also has many uses like the one-liner, you will use it more in a long-form content such as your website, overview brochures, overview videos, and especially in presentations or networking events.
Love it. So Kelly, when we talked about the one-liner, we talked about how this is essentially a way to further engage people in conversation, but your story pitch is really to engage, your customers. I mean, at a deeper level. So how can you use your story pitch to engage customers?
Well, for starters, we will put the talking points to work again to create this marketing guiding statement, and we'll use elements also from the one-liner. Now, you may not be an author. You may or may not be an author. A lot of us aren't. But there's also a lot more small business owners who are becoming authors. So they're also getting introduced to this type of story format when they're writing their books. Mm-hmm. But as a small business owner, you have to pitch your business. Unlike an author who is actually pitching their book, you have to pitch your business. Mm-hmm. And creating a story pitch for your business is so helpful because it gives you a concise storyline that engages potential customers by first empathizing with them and your audience. And we learned how empathizing is really important when you're wanting to become the guide. Second, giving them a plan of action. And third, showing them what success can look like. So the way that you want to form your story pitch follows basic story guidelines, and it looks something like this. So you want to start with a problem. You want to make the problem a little bit more worse. You want to express empathy, describe the solution, show the positive outcome, and then finally state your why. Now, unlike your one-liner, your story pitch will likely be a few paragraphs long. And remember, you want to be able to work harder, or sorry, you don't want to work harder. You're already working hard enough. You're a small business owner. You want to work smarter, not harder. So you want to be pulling from your marketing guiding statements as you've already created, from your talking points and from your one-liner, because you actually have most of the information you already need in order to write this story pitch. So let's walk through Tree Frog's story pitch as an example, because if you're a visual and audio learner like me, you want to be able to have that something to follow. So I'm going to read it, and then we'll break it down into the sections that we talked about to make it a little bit more manageable. So most small business owners and leaders aren't sure where to start when it comes to marketing their businesses, nor do they have time to manage a marketing strategy themselves. As a result, their employees' finances and business growth suffer. At Tree Frog Marketing, we understand these struggles firsthand because we are small business owners ourselves. As a result, we've created science-based marketing systems that help small businesses save time and increase profits so they can finally breathe and feel confident in their marketing efforts. We do this because small business owners and leaders work hard and deserve to have thriving businesses and lives outside of the office. So I know that's long. And when you're watching or listening, it's a little hard to, kind of break that down. But the goal is that if you stop and think about it, you actually should feel really comfortable about utilizing Tree Frog if you are a small business owner and you have the struggles that we outlined. So the first thing that we do in the story pitch is that we have a problem. And if you go back several episodes, again, you'll learn that our ideal avatar, the small business owners, they struggle with finding time to do everything that they need to do, both at work and at home. Therefore, our problem talks directly to this audience and lays out the problem that they're facing, right? This is the same thing that we did in the one-liner as well, as we're saying, hey, you have this problem. Mm-hmm. So problem again, in our story pitch is most small business owners and leaders aren't sure where to start when it comes to marketing their businesses, nor do they have time to manage a marketing strategy themselves. And then second, we're making that problem just a little bit worse by laying out what will happen if they let that problem continue to fester or they don't do something about it. So the make it worse part is, as a result, their employees' finances and business growth suffer. So if you're a small business owner, you can more than likely relate to this. You're like, I have so many responsibilities. I'm doing all of the things. I seem to only be doing the things that are on fire. And I want to be able to be proactive instead of reactive. Mm-hmm. And if I could do that, then my employees will be happier, my finances will be in a better shape, and my business actually will grow. So that is the whole creating a problem and making it worse. It's not to fearmonger people. It's to help people understand if they're in that situation, that they can relate to this. Like, you're getting their brains to go, oh my gosh, that is totally me. Now, we've learned from the following a story-based framework that the next part of this, we have to be some kind of guide, because we just can't say, oh, all these bad things happen to you, or you're in this crazy place. The guide comes in and shows empathy before jumping in and telling the hero what they need to do. And remember, your business is the guide and your customers must be the hero of the story. So the empathy portion of this statement, we're telling our ideal customers, we know what it's like to be in your shoes. So we just got them to say, oh my gosh, I relate to that. Now we're saying at Tree Frog, we understand these struggles firsthand because we're small business owners ourselves. So the idea is that we got you. We understand this. We've been in your shoes. We get it. So what happens is we start to have a conversation, and that sales threshold comes down, because in no way are we trying to force feed a sale. We want to have a conversation. So that's why stating the problem first and then going into empathy is so important in your story pitch. So next, we get to come in as the guide with the plan and what it will look like if our ideal customers actually follow our advice. So this portion gives the solution to our customers' problems and helps them see a way out of their chaos that they're in. So our solution is, as a result, we've created science-based marketing systems that help small businesses save time and increase profits so that, here comes the outcome, they can finally breathe and feel confident in their marketing efforts. So the idea is that here's the solution. This is what you need to do in order to get out of your chaos or solve your problem. And if you do it, you're going to finally be able to take that deep breath and just be like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. And I know now that my marketing efforts are going to pay off. Is that kind of all making sense now?
Oh, yes.
And then yeah. And then we have one final portion of this longer one. We told you that the story pitch is a little bit longer than the one-liner, but the idea is that you're building a deeper story, and you're building, again, that story pitch like you would if you were an author trying to pitch your book. So then the final portion of the statement talks about why we do what we do. People make buying decisions first based on emotion, and then they back it up with facts. And if you've already set the stage in the previous sections of your story pitch about the problems and emotions and showing empathy, but your why brings it all together. As you hear Tree Frog's why, you'll see that we're looking to get our ideal customers to say, yes, that's what I want too. So Tree Frog's why reads, because small business owners and leaders work hard and deserve to have thriving businesses and lives outside of the office. So if we go back to all the things that we've ever heard from a marketing perspective about why our why is important, this is it. This takes away that sales feel as well, because we're not in it just to sell you a widget. Mm-hmm. We're in it because we know from an organization what we offer, it will make your life better, and you deserve to have a better life because you work so hard. You should have a thriving business and a life outside of it. You shouldn't be stuck at your son's baseball game on a computer all the time trying to figure out work stuff. You should be able to sit there and yell at the refs like everyone else. So,
like Kelly does.
So I sit in the outfield so they can't hear me. Yeah. So by following the story logic of your story pitch, you'll be able to capture people's attention while helping them understand that you are the one that can help solve their problem and what their lives could be like if they followed your advice.
Oh, man, I'm so glad that in this process, we've been using Tree Frog's guiding statements as an example, just in that, it makes me, like, hearing him out loud, it just makes me so excited to, be part of this team. But anyway, story for another day. But guys, this is part 5 of a 7-part series about your marketing guiding statements. Now, if I know in this episode, there is really a lot of content. There are a lot of steps, and sometimes it can be hard to visualize what all that looks like. So if you go to treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements, you can find a download that lists all of the story elements you need in one place. That way, Kelly's voice is wonderful, but in case you don't want to hit rewind and do this again and again, you'll find step-by-step instructions there. And then also at treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements, you will find all of the marketing guiding statement episodes that we're doing. So basically, this is your mini course all about messaging and marketing guiding statements, and you don't want to miss out on that. We will be releasing the next 2 episodes over the next few weeks. However, we know that you are a busy small business owner and that marketing guiding statements are important. So again, go to treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements to get early access to these episodes and to download our download, which is always a funny thing to say, all about writing your marketing guiding statements. And guys, if you've been going through this process and you are just feeling entirely overwhelmed, please don't panic. Again, you have a lot of things on your plate, and sometimes you just can't do one more thing. But we do want to let you know that we do write marketing guiding statements for small businesses. This is a service that we offer. You don't even have to do your website with us or do anything else. We are more than happy just to write your messaging. So that way, all of your marketing moving forward is sure to work. You can learn more about this service at treefrogmarketing.com/messaging. Now, remember, and I know we've said this just so many times at this point, but it's so important. Before you can have effective marketing, you have to have clear messaging. So while creating your marketing guiding statements is a lot of work, remember that if you don't know how to communicate with your customers, you won't be able to connect with them or hold their attention. And as a result, every marketing tactic you implement or task you complete will literally only be a waste of time and money. For the sake of your small business's success, for the sake of your relationships with your family and for how well you're able to serve your team and how generous you can be with your small business, please prioritize your marketing guiding statements. Again, visit treefrogmarketing.com/marketing guiding statements to access this full podcast episode series and our marketing guiding statements download. And if you are interested in the possibility of having our team write your guiding statements for you, go to treefrogmarketing.com/messaging to schedule a 15-minute consultation to find out what this is all about. Guys, thank you so much for prioritizing your small business today by tuning in to another episode of Priority Pursuit. We are already looking forward to hanging out with you again next week and diving into the last 2 marketing guiding statements.